What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 72 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And today we got about a 14-minute episode. We're going to be continuing our work in the center area where we left off from last week, working on the mall/aquarium. But today we're going to be primarily focusing on reworking our turbo lift that goes in from the lower section of the center all the way up to the bridge. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now you can see here, this is the main deck that would have been the bridge, but there was going to be a problem here because basically, and what I'm going to try to do right now is I'm going to try to make extend the wall out just a little bit to try to cover it up, but that's going to pose to be a problem because, long story short, one of the issues that we're going to have is that the bridge and the primary shuttle bay should not be on the same deck, for one, and for two, the way that I designed this turbo lift, I had it catty cornered, as opposed to the regular square template that I normally use when I do the turbo lifts. It was worth trying at the time, but this is one of the things that I talk about, being consistent with your builds. And when you start to look at that consistency throughout your ship, it's going to help you with spotting out mistakes and maybe what you did wrong and what you need to change to make it better. So that's going to be a main focus for today, cleaning up this turbo lift and changing it from a catty corner to the normal standard turbo lift that we normally do. And we're also going to be deleting the secondary turbo lift, the one that's directly in front of us. I had originally intended to have two turbo lifts, one on the left and one on the right, going up to the bridge, but that would have actually been inaccurate because the bridge only had one turbo lift. And another reason why I decided to get rid of it is because that second doorway is going to go from the bridge to the conference room. So I didn't want to lose that area in favor of just having two turbo lifts, so I just decided to get rid of it. So that was just kind of my thought process behind this and why I'm making some of the changes that I'm making today. But I mean, it was worth trying out, but it is what it is. This is why I say why it's so important to get this stuff planned out ahead of time, especially before we get too far into what we plan to build out in the center section of the ship, because the last thing you want to do is be in a position where you're having to go back and make significant alterations because you decided maybe too late that you wanted to change it up. Yeah, because you can see here, I'm trying to make it work at that catty corner right there for a second, but it's really, it's not working. So what we're going to end up doing is actually making it just a regular square block instead of going in a catty corner. We can close off our walls here so we can keep the illusion that this is going to be a turbo lift shaft going all the way up and down. Yeah, not a super long episode today, and that's primarily because tomorrow's episode is going to be like 28 minutes. So I didn't want to tack another 14 minutes onto that episode, so I just decided to split them up. So kind of a short one today, and really, like I said, just kind of reworking this turbo lift. But it's definitely need a change, because this is going to help us later on when we're getting down into the lower decks of the ship in the dead center, so we can get into our viewing area for the aquarium, and then later on the captain's ready, or not ready room, the captain's yacht. Yeah, see, that's just, or how I do it that catty corner, that's just not going to work. And the other thing too, I mean, it could work, but like I was saying at the beginning of today's episode, the main issue is that it's just not going to gel with the other turbo lifts that you're going to see on the ship, because all of them, they're not going at an angle like this. And I mean, I guess, you know, it was worth trying just for the sake of trying it, but this is, you know, one of the things I talk about, you know, stay consistent to what you're doing, and when you do that, it'll make it a lot easier to catch mistakes and inconsistencies in your build. Now, if you really wanted to, you could leave this, but you can see I'm trying to make it work, having those doorways match up just like how it is on the bridge, but I think we're going to end up getting rid of that. Now we're going to go over and we're going to get rid of the foundation for the secondary turbo lift. So like I said, we're not going to be using that, we're just going to get rid of it. One thing we're going to have to eventually do is we're going to have to move the bridge upward a little bit and rework the exterior of the bridge, which is something I don't really want to do because I've already proportioned out the whole ship piece by piece, but it can be done if we take our time with it and just try to scale it and make it a little bit bigger than what it is, and then just go back and gauge it with the rest of the ship. I think it'll probably work out just fine. Outline made. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Like I said, you know, pretty much everything what we're doing right now, we're going to end up moving this upward, but we can still throw some of this down now, and then I'll show you in the next couple of episodes when we actually start working on the bridge how we're going to move this upward, because we're going to be taking pretty much the same template that we already have to do that. I think this is when I decided that we're just going to go back to the square. So I tried to make it work without it, but it is what it is. I think we settle on a 3x3. I think that's typically what I end up doing for the turbo lifts. We're just going to square this off pretty much. Everything that's below what's currently the bridge deck. Got one more row to do, and then we just need to make our cuts for each deck. Now I do know that on the left side here we're going to have to move that wall back by one because it's going to be impeding. I mean, you could be like, well, you know, we'll just make the doorway too wide, but again, that's not staying consistent to the design of the ship. It's going to be 3 wide and 2 high. That's how I've done all the doorways, so it's important to keep that consistency going. This way, when we're going through our ship, when it's done, it all flows together and it looks nice and neat. We're definitely going to have to move that wall back. We won't have to redesign this whole back wall. It's literally just this area right here. We'll have to slightly tweak it. And even though this left side here is no longer going to have a turbo lift, as you can see, I'm still doing the same thing over there just so that both sides match up. Gonna have to shave just a little bit off of our bridge, or not our bridge walkway slash turbo lift, or not turbo lift, corridor I should say. There we go. Now we move that back by one. Now the turbo lift doorway isn't right up on the wall. It has that little cut line, which works a lot better than what we had just a minute ago. And then we just need to do this on the lower decks. You know, not really making significant changes here. We're really just tweaking it. And you're going to do this a lot, well, more times than you might imagine when you're doing shipbuilding, because sometimes, as you can see, the first go around what we did, it just didn't work. We just have to make some slight changes. But when that happens, you know, just if you're not sure what to do, just take a second. You know, think about what you want to do and how you want to fix that, and take your time with it. You got all the time in the world. That's what I do. And if I'm not sure what I want to do, then I step away from it and I think about. I just let it basically marinate and think about what I want to do, and then when I have a solution, then I come back to it. In this case, it just ended up being relatively easy because I just really looked at what needed to be done to make that whole room flow, and also keeping in the design with the other turbo lifts that we have on the ship so far. See, now we're just cleaning up that outside wall because of what we did on the inside to accommodate the turbo lift adjustments that we made. And we're going to have to shave some of the wall away here, and we'll have to make a couple of more adjustments, but that's okay. Really, I think we're just going to have to throw one more block down on the outside to close that hole up. Yeah, see, that's really not a big deal. It's just a matter of throwing just one more block down on the outside there. We're going to put in our flooring here, establish this turbo lift deck, and we're in good shape. I think the only other thing that we're going to end up changing is that, again, I still have the cut caddy cornered. It's going to go in the middle here, which is something that we're not going to get a chance to do today because if I recall, it's going to be something that we're going to be changing later on in the build. Can't remember exactly what episode it's going to fall into. There we go. Get some sea lanterns in the roof, so we have some lighting, and we're looking good. We gotta do something about that gap between the bridge and the deck directly below it right there. We're gonna have to seal that up. There we go. Since the top is still open, we can just fly right back in. I think that's going to about do it today, other than this little hole right here. Like I said, just a quick episode to get that turbo lift up to snuff of where it needs to be. And then tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Wednesday and Friday, I think we're going to keep working on the mall and see how far we can get on. I do know that after a little bit, we are going to take a break from it for a little while and work on other sections of the ship and then come back to it. But again, you know, this is just a very important section of the ship, getting that turbo lift done. So now once we go in and we start adding in our foundations for the different levels here, it'll make it easier because this turbo lift is pretty much already there, you know. But anyway, I think that's going to wrap us up today. And I just want to thank you again for tuning in to today's episode. And of course, um, if you're interested in checking out my new episodes of Minecraft, be sure to tune into my channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Videos drop at 7 p.m. Eastern. And also, don't forget to join my Discord channel. That's brand new, just recently launched. And I will have a join link in the description below. I have a lot of cool things going on with the Discord. And yeah, that's going to be it. Just want to thank you all again for tuning in today's episode. And I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And I'll catch you on the next episode. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section and let me know in Discord.